Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Just wanted to make a quick video about Jake Paul losing. Paul versus Fury happened yesterday, and the results couldn't be more satisfactory for me. And I'm not even one of the people that were rooting for Jake Paul to lose because of the whole him entering combat sports, him going after retired mixed martial artists and stuff. That did annoy me, but my bias comes more from the YouTube side of things. You know, people watching this, knowing who Jake Paul is and the kind of stuff that he's done. Like, don't get me wrong, I actually do respect him within combat sports, because anybody who does get into the ring, you got to respect them for even doing that. Because there's a lot of people who talk, right? There's a lot of people who talk, and there's a lot of people who don't walk. And he obviously has been doing his thing. Granted, there's been some, with some stuff that we'll get into later, where it's like the people who he's fighting and stuff. But my whole thing is, I just never really liked Jake Paul, because I'll never forget when he made up some assault allegations. There's a YouTuber, if you guys remember, FaZe Banks. He owns FaZe Clan, or at least he owns part of it or whatever. I think he's the founder or something. And there were some allegations made up, like that his assistant was assaulted by him, like FaZe Banks grabbed her in a club or something, and then she had like bruises on her neck and stuff. And they got some fake cop. They did this whole elaborate ruse, and this was like, this is crazy. Like it was fake. But the thing that was so crazy to me is that, like, there were maybe the repercussions behind the scenes, but publicly nothing happened to him at all. And then you remember how predatory he was with selling his merch to kids. Like, he made a Christmas song, and he was just pretty much, the chorus was just saying, buy that merch. Like, it was just so, like, over the top, and to the point where YouTube had to implement new rules and stuff because people like Nerd City called him out. So it was just like ridiculous nonsense that I remember. A lot of people who are in the combat sports world have no idea. They just know, who's this Disney kid? They hear that he came from the Disney Channel, and now he's coming into the boxing and combat sports world, and he's trying to show that he's like great, but then he's fighting washed up people. He fought Tyron Woodley, which Tyron was getting his ass whipped in the MMA before he left out. Like, something happened to him. You know, if you watch mixed martial arts, if you watch the UFC, something happened to Tyron Woodley where he was just not the same anymore. He was just not dominant. He just seemed to not want to pull the trigger. And obviously Jake Paul capitalized on that, knowing that Tyron Woodley will not pull the trigger. I should be safe fighting him. And he was safe. It was no big deal. He fought obviously Ben Askren. That was hilarious. Like, he fought Nate Robinson. Hilarious. Anderson Silva. Cool. Everybody was really excited about that. But I really wasn't. I didn't even watch it. I caught the highlights, because I was like, well, Anderson Silva, he's going to put on a show and then he's going to lose, and that's exactly what happened. Because I'm a diehard Anderson Silva fan. He's one of my favorite fighters, but it's like, I know he's in this for the bag right now. Anderson Silva wants to just get some money. He loves fighting, but he loves the entertainment aspect. I mean, it's like when Chris Weidman knocked him out. He loves the entertainment aspect of this, and I knew this wasn't going to be Anderson Silva just going to get things done. Like, I'm just going to put this dude away. And he's almost 50 years old, so it's like, all right. So finally, real fight, real boxer, young 23-year-old Tommy Fury, half-brother of Tyson Fury. This is going to be a great match. And I thought it was so strange seeing people, like, doubt Tommy. So many people that I respect. It was so strange to me. Someone like Chael Sonnen, who I love listening to, you know, great mixed martial artist, analyst, you know, undefeated, never lost a round. And he was just like, oh, Paul's going to beat him. And then I'm seeing other people say the same thing, like, oh, Paul's going to beat him. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like, I watched footage of Tommy Fury, and I'm like, Tommy Fury's good. And then people are saying, oh, have you seen the tomato cans that he's fought? Have you seen the journeyman that he's fought? And I'm like, what boxer doesn't do this? They all fight journeymen and bums and then get their inflated records. And if you don't have that inflated record, you're not taken seriously. That's just how boxing works for people who don't watch boxing. Like, boxing is hard to follow because of all the different weight classes and all the different belts and all the different wacky stuff like this. It makes it very hard to follow. It makes it kind of uninteresting. There will be some high-profile fights, and you won't know who the hell these people are. Like, oh, these people are fighting for world titles? What's happening? It's shit like that. So I understand why a lot of people may not know that inflating your records is what you're supposed to do. Just like Jake Paul, what he's doing, selecting certain people that he knows that he can beat. That's why I always thought it was interesting that he really wanted to go against Tommy Fury. I feel like he saw Tommy fight on one of the undercards that Jake put together. I think it was with Triller. And he was like, oh, I can beat this guy. I think that's what he saw. And I'm like, well, did you watch anything else he's done? And remember, he's tied to the Fury family. Like, you really think you're just going to knock this guy out and this is going to be a cakewalk? Because that's the way that Jake talked. If Jake didn't talk like that, I feel like I wouldn't even be making this video. Because I was like, oh, Tommy's going to beat him. I didn't know about this knockout that Tommy was saying. Tommy said he's going to knock him out and make easy, quick work of him. I didn't believe that because I don't think Jake Paul sucks. I mean, Jake Paul has shown in his short career boxing that he has a great overhand right. And he's got a good check hook. And that can get you far. But once you start fighting the elite, that is absolutely not enough. Jake does not have feet. That's one thing. He does not know how to move. He should work a lot more on that. I think, you guys remember, did you watch Rocky Balboa? I think it came out in 2006. Where it's like, Rocky's old now. He cannot move. So what they did was they built up his strength. They wanted him to just be a power puncher. And that's the only way he was going to stand a chance against Mason Dixon. And so it seems like that's a lot of what they focus on Jake Paul. Like, Jake Paul has a lot of power. He has a lot of power. So we're going to really just work on him, getting some nice little check hooks going on, and really just got to set up that overhand right, because that put away 3 of his 6 opponents. And didn't work on Tommy because Tommy is legitimate. Tommy's got feet. You got the footwork. You're not going to... And then the jab was delicious because you disrupt the, setting things up. So this is fundamental boxing. It was actually a great fight. Barring there was a lot of clinching, right? But if you're a fan of boxing, again, you're going to see a lot of clinch work. It sucks. And then, yeah, the ref didn't let them work anything out, really. That was also annoying. The ref took some points for punches back to the head, which nothing seemed intentional, so it was kind of dumb. I was like, what are you doing, bro? I don't know. But at the end of the day, Tommy Fury outboxed the hell out of Jake. I mean, he whooped his ass. And like Tommy said in the press conference that if I really pressed him, I think I could have got him out of there. And I agree with that because there was multiple times I was saying, what are you doing? Meaning that, like, create space and finish him. Instead, not even he would clinch. Not even like, oh, he's thinking maybe Jake's going to counter. He's too worried about Jake countering. Where Jake was pretty much, he was being controlled. Now, to Jake's credit, he knocked Tommy Fury down. But the thing is, it wasn't a clean knockdown. It wasn't that impressive. It was still good nonetheless. You still got him down, man. But you getting knocked off balance is not that impressive. But it still counts as a knockdown nonetheless, because it wasn't just a pure slip. So it's one of those things, though, when like the ref was counting Tommy, and it's like, Tommy is 1000% fine. He's like standing around like, I'm good. Like, why are you still counting? It was like one of those things where it wasn't, and people were so sure. It was weird seeing some people think that Jake Paul was going to win even after that. I was like, he did not, that knockdown. Do you think this is pride? Do you think this is the mixed martial arts and pride where the way you finish the fight is kind of more important than scoring individual rounds? Because like, when you think about a fight itself, what is really important? Who came out looking the best? How best did you finish? Kind of determines like how a fight really went. But in a contest with these rules, with the 10 must system, nah, it doesn't work that way. So now you get split decisions and you go off of points. Who outboxed who landed more shots? Tommy Fury boxed the hell out of Jake Paul. Jake Paul did well, but not good enough. Now the thing is, Jake Paul said that he got injured, he wasn't feeling well, and that's just like crowd starts booing, and that's the worst thing you can do. And here's the thing, it may be true, but the thing is, everybody gets injured. That's one thing that you know about combat sports. It is rare if somebody goes into a fight being 100%. Usually they're fucked up somewhere. Usually something happens. And then, oh, they're not feeling well. There's off nights. Things happen. Things like that happen. Now, Jake says he was feeling off. Maybe he was feeling off. Remember Leon Edwards? He said he was feeling off until he caught Kamaru Usman. He was like, man, I can do way better than this. He still won, but he said he can do way better than this. I have no reason not to believe him. I mean, he still won, right? Yeah, sure, he could be lying to make himself seem better, but I don't know. Jake, I believe that he believes that, but I still think Tommy is a lot better. Obviously, Tommy still has a long way to go. He's only 23 years old, man. It's so crazy. It's so crazy when I'm like, God, I'm so old. I'm so old. I'm about to hit my mid-30s, man. And I'm seeing this guy right here. I'm only 23. Got the whole world ahead of me. I'm a part of an amazing fighting family. And it's like, damn. Must be nice, man. Must be nice. But anyway, I thought the fight was pretty entertaining. Like I said, I was satisfied. Obviously, this loss... And to be honest, even though Jake made a few excuses, like I said, something that you really shouldn't say publicly, in my opinion, I still think that he handled the loss very well in the press conference, everything he talked about. Who knows how he's going to handle it by himself, but I don't think this is going to do anything to him, because I think boxing purists and people who really were paying attention were like, yeah, this is exactly how I thought this was going to go. I mean, I think about Joe Rogan talking to Dave Portnoy, that fucking idiot from Barstool Sports, where he's like, oh, Tommy Fury's trash. He's not a boxer. He's complete garbage. And Joe Rogan argues with him and tells him to shut the fuck up. Like, because Joe Rogan's getting annoyed. Because Joe Rogan's been following combat sports his entire life. And he's like, Dave Portnoy, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. That's exactly how I felt. Like, I've been following combat sports for over 20 years. And like, I see somebody and I'm like, oh, this guy has skills. I see someone like Jake Paul where I'm like, yes, he has skills, but not enough. Granted, it's only been 5 years, right? Think about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder has so much power that he's barely been boxing either. He's not been boxing that long. He's not a lifelong boxer. But when you have some gifts, you can train for a few years and you can do pretty well. So Jake Paul's one of those people. Tommy has been boxing for a long time. Now, if he took it more seriously, he'd probably be leagues ahead of where he is now. But look at him. He's a good-looking guy. He did reality TV. He's doing things. I get it. You look at his physique. You look at him and you're like, okay, yeah. I get it. I totally understand, man. It's one of those things where you're like, yeah, if I look like that too, I'd probably be doing some TV as well. But anyway, that's all I want to say about this. There's probably things that I should have said, but I just want to keep this relatively short. Let me know what you guys thought of the fight. Let me know if you agreed or actually even disagreed with the decision. Maybe you thought Jake Paul won. If you did think he won, I'll be looking out for your comments, because I'm actually curious about that, to hear your case of why he should have won. I heard Jake Paul say he thought he got 2 10-8s. Maybe he got the 10-8 with a knockdown, but where the hell else? Yeah, but that's it, guys. Take care, and I'll see you in some other videos fairly soon. I have some stuff in the works. I used to do a solo podcast, and I'll elaborate more about this in another video. But I used to do a solo podcast, and I think I'm going to relaunch a different one. And I'm just going to absorb every topic ever, do it, release it on the beginning of the week, and then dissect all that stuff, and then just have a plethora of content again. Really get this channel revived and whatnot. But yeah, that's it, guys. Take care.